Hello, everyone, and welcome to the National Inventor Club. My name is Brian Freed. I'm the founder. We have the Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property and the Director of the US Patent and Trademark Office, Kathi Vidal. Oh, well, there she is. How you doing, Kathi?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. I hope it's okay if I call you Kathi, Director Vidal. I know you have a lot of titles. So to start with, you are the Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property and the Director of the US Patent and Trademark Office. You're the highest authority at the US Patent and Trademark Office, and we're so proud to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting months to be on this, as you know, Brian. So just I really wanted to spend time with your group. You guys are doing amazing things, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. I'd like to just start off by perhaps you can introduce yourself. I know the titles kind of say a lot, but I know that there's a lot more about you. Maybe we can learn a little bit more about you and your background.
Well, and thank you, Brian, and thank you for all you do, because you're you and everybody in National Inventors Club is the entire reason that we exist. That we're here to get patents for people. To your question, Brian, about my background, I've always wanted to make a difference and support people. And even when I was in law firms, I would, if I found an individual inventor, I would say, hey, send me your patent. I'm happy to look at what you're thinking. I'm happy to give you free advice. I believe in innovation. I was an engineer at heart. I used to have a oscilloscope in my bedroom when I was 13. I went to engineering school at 16. I love this stuff. I love, even, my background's electrical engineering. I took organic chem over the summer I didn't even need the credits. I love science. I love innovation. And I want to make sure that in everything we're doing, whether it's the technology that we're rolling out, the new chat we have, so where you can find out the status of your patent application through a little chat bot. I just want to make sure everything is as friendly as possible to make it easier for inventors to to be on their journey, because you're the lifeblood of the country. We need everything that you're doing.
Absolutely. For those of us who are inventors or we have an idea in our head, there's all different stages of people listening out there, Kathi. So uh, one of the most important places to visit online is the US Patent and Trademark Office. So USPTO.gov. And if you go to the learning and resources area, there is a section there for inventors and entrepreneurs. And anything that you want to know is right there. And you have the chat, which follows you on every page, but you also have the Inventor Resource Center. And those people that answer the phone, they know everything. And whatever you ask them, they'll figure out and get you on your way. Kathi, where did you come from? What's your background and how did you get into this position?
So I was a Navy brat, just to start with. So I moved from place to place, and eventually got into engineering, and then I ended up becoming a patent litigator for many years. I did some prosecution, some patent litigation, and then at some point, someone asked if this is a role that I'd be interested in, and I just, I reflected on it and all the work that I did on the side to really, I mean, it was everything that I had a passion for, to help inventors. I worked for a lot of startups. I invested in in startup companies. And I thought, wow, this is a chance to come in and look at everything fresh from a perspective of somebody who's not worked in US government, and really try and make a difference. So that's my background. I was in Silicon Valley before I came to DC. And like I said, worked with a lot of startups. I was on a board of a startup, and just love all of that. And so that's so when I became aware that they were interested in me potentially taking this position, and I started thinking about not only the work of inventors, but also just needing that climate around the world where we protect intellectual property, where we believe in intellectual property and all that it does for the country, and then making sure we bring more people into that innovation ecosystem and support them. Like you said, Brian, you've got people online at all different levels. we don't just want to support people in getting their patent. And, I used to talk to people about that all the time. Like, just getting a patent is not enough, right? It's what you do with it. It's what kind of patent you get. And we want to support people on their entire journey, whether it's from getting a patent to actually bringing that to impact, launching a company, licensing it. Like, how can you make impact with what you're doing? So, that's why the Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, and I founded Women's Entrepreneurship, to really help people think about funding and how do you get those mentors. I know SCORE has amazing mentors. We've got bar organizations offering free mentorship. Just want to support everybody on their entire journey, make sure we're hooking them up with the right resources. Even for women's entrepreneurship, it's not just about women. About 10% of the people who attend are men. It's meant to be inclusive so that women feel like it's a great place for them, but everything's open to everyone. We offer so much free programming that couldn't be more thrilled to be part of all of that.
So you're very active with corporations that are involved with their patents. Obviously, there's tons of technology, and every day there's something new that's being worked on or coming out. And then there's us, there's the independent inventor out there that we have an idea and we're going through, we're searching, we're hunting, we're trying to find a way to figure out what the next steps are. And ultimately, the best place to go is the US Patent and Trademark Office. So, Kathi, if you can give us just a bit of an understanding, because again, people may just be coming on tonight and listening and saying, all right, I've had an idea once before. Maybe I don't have one right now, or maybe I have one that I'm working on, or maybe it'll be in the future. What is the US Patent and Trademark Office, and what does it represent?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I will say, as you mentioned, Brian, that we are a good place to start. I think these inventor organizations are amazing as well, because you folks have been through it, right? You know us from a different perspective, and you can help people on their journey. So once people do come to our doors, our job, our main job, is to register trademarks and to issue patents. And what we're doing is we're going well beyond that. And Brian, you mentioned our outreach. What we've done in the last year is we've gone to Congress and said outreach just can't be at certain places in the agency. We need an entire business unit that's permanent in the USPTO that really works with inventors and helps helps them along their entire journey. So what we do as an organization is we're here to help people get their patents. We certainly have patent examiners that work with people to identify if there's something that's too close to what they're trying to patent, so they can help shape their patent to get around that, to make sure they're using the right language to get their patent. Along the journey, we're here to help in so many ways. So if you're under-resourced and you want to get a patent, we've got pro bono, so free services from lawyers across the country. So if you're just getting started, you can certainly go to one of our pro bono organizations. You can go to our website and find them. They can help you, write your patent, get the patent filed. We also have pro se. So that all these are Latin terms, but pro se basically means if you want to get your patent yourself, you don't have a lawyer, then you can come to us, and we have a whole group committed to working with you and helping you get your patent if you don't have a lawyer. And even with that, I was mentioning this earlier today, but so we found out that women who are filing for the first time, if they go through our Pro Se program, the chance that they get a patent is 20% more likely because of the assistance we give them to help them. Overall, with women and men, first-time filers, repeat filers, it's 6% higher. So, we're here to help. And then in addition to that, we have so many resources. So if you are a would-be inventor, I would learn about what a patent is. Go to our patent boot camp, learn about trademarks, go to our trademark boot camp, get some basic understanding so you know when you should tap us, when you should talk to other inventors, and when you should, be thinking about protecting your intellectual property. Because, for a lot of this, it's so important that you do it the right timing and in the right way. And so we've got all the resources to help. Just a couple more things I want to say about our resources. So we're also in many public libraries. So it's likely that we're actually physically in your community where we've trained a librarian. You can go to it's called Patent and Trademark Resource Center, PTRC. You can go on our website and look for where we are throughout the country. Those are people in your local library who can give you thoughts on patents and trademarks. So we're trying to be out there everywhere on the ground with physical resources. And then also, as you mentioned, our chatbot, we're evolving our IT systems to have one-stop shopping. And for all of that, I will say, Brian, that we're trying to solve for everything, but we need your input. If there's something better we can do, a lot of the ideas we're rolling out, Brian, came from you, right? Like we've had these conversations. You've told us what the inventors need, and we appreciate that. And we've delivered on that. So if people need more, just reach out to us. You can email me directly at director@uspto.gov. We're here to serve. I mean, that's our whole role, is to help you get trademarks and patents, and then see you on that whole journey. And that whole journey, it's not going to be just us. We're going to work with the Small Business Association. We're going to work with other parts of government to help you on your journey.
So many times, Kathi, people come and say, I have a great idea. I'm going to be a gazillionaire. And they just immediately scour the internet. They end up at step 5 when they should do step 1. Yeah. If you can give us some advice about how important it is to do a patent search, how important is it, Kathi, to really do your research?
So I am so glad you mentioned that, Brian. It's so important to do that patent search because, as you know, right now, there's now a patent on it. So if you came up with that idea today, if you didn't do your search, you might start going down the path of trying to invent this, trying to commercialize it, and then you'd realize you're stepping on somebody else's IP and you're not allowed to do that. The other thing is, by doing that search, when you file for the patent, you know exactly what you're asking for. So if you came up with that exact idea now and you filed with us, we'd have to tell you somebody else already has that patent. So you've now gone through the step of spending a lot of energy, maybe investing in trying to get partners and trying to make a product that somebody else already owns the right to. So it's really important to do that. It's also really important, as soon as you have the idea, to file for that patent. For patents like the pooper scooper, which my dad used to call it when we had one back in the day. So like for the pooper scooper, you could get a provisional patent in the beginning. And if you're a micro entity or really small and not as heavily resourced, that's $60 to file for that. And at least you put your mark in the sand and said, as of this date, as long as nobody came up with it before, I'm the one that owns this. And then you've got a year to go ahead and take it further. So it's so important to do that, because once you start selling, especially now that everything's global, once you start selling on the internet and people realize what you're doing, they're going to try and do it. They can just copy your great idea, and some people can manufacture more cheaply. So it's important to get that patent, because then you can use that to take those people off the internet and to make sure that you're the one that actually gets the benefit of your invention.
So just like starting a business, it's really about doing your due diligence, doing your research, and figuring out, and now we're first to file. Yeah. So, well, it's been around for a while, but first to file. So there is that provisional patent application, which, like you mentioned, Kathi, it'll give you the right for 1 year to say your patent pending. Yeah. While you're exploring the market, getting yourself together, and before that 1 year comes due, you need to file that non-provisional patent application, and that's where it's going to take the original date and continue, and that's where it's going to be presented in front of a patent examiner, right?
Absolutely, and I love that you mentioned patent pending, because Amy mentioned it took her only a year to get a patent. Mm-hmm. She did go on a fast track. I will say right now we do have a fast track for first-time inventors that are under-resourced. So we do have fast tracks at no charge. There's also fast tracks where you can pay. So she got hers quickly. Sometimes it takes longer, but as soon as you file, whether it's a provisional, which is you kind of put your mark in the sand for a year, or whether you just file immediately for your patent, you can start saying you've got a patent pending. And that in and of itself is critical, because if you're going out and trying to get funding, people want to know, if I invest, Brian, in your company, I want to know you're protecting my money, that if we start to get successful, nobody's going to rip off our idea and compete against us and throw us under. I want to know that my money's protected. So even just the patent pending, not the patent itself, is a really powerful tool.
When we have a patent, what kind of protection do we actually have from the US Patent and Trademark Office?
I mean, the patent is incredible because it gives you the right to stop others from doing what you claimed is your idea. Sometimes people think to get a patent, I've got to be an Einstein. I've got to have something like so incredible that in order to get a patent. But it can be something really simple and practical where you see something in your daily life and you think, I could do that better. And it doesn't have to be that elaborate. And so when you get a patent, so say you get a patent on that, which is phenomenal. So once you have that, if somebody else decides to create the same thing, which they will often do, once you start to get successful, people are going to start importing goods, are going to start making it cheaper. We've got counterfeit goods. Unfortunately, it's a big issue. But when you have that patent, you can go to that person and say, stop selling that. Like, I have the right to sell that. And you can stop them from selling it, from importing it, from making it. Sometimes you have to go to court, but if you can find somebody who can help, you can often do that much cheaper, or you can go to an online website. So a lot of the online websites want to help you. You can go to them and say, the seller is actually selling a product that infringes my patent. Please take them off the website. So it's super powerful to just give you the breathing room and space to have your business. It's also important if you're looking for, once you've got your business, you may want to sell it to somebody. Again, you want to know that you own, like, you basically now own the idea, for a period of 20 years. You own it. It's now yours. Otherwise, it's just an idea. And as you said, Brian, if you don't protect it with a patent, you've just given it. You've exported it to other countries. You've given it to everybody for free.
And on the side of trademarks, because
Yeah.
now we have a product, we want to have a good name for it. So trademarks are very active for me, and they've actually done some great good for my businesses. If you can share just some information for us about how a trademark can increase our assets, but also be able to put some kind of mark out there in the world.
Absolutely. So trademarks are terribly important to get. And so you do have trademark rights when you do have a brand, but they're local, they're not national. And so one story I love is I was talking to a woman. I go a lot to military bases. I'm trying to support military spouses and people in the military as well. And a woman on a military base had a tutoring organization. And she used a name that she thought was really amazing. She got a lot of equity in that. People knew who she was. They knew it was a good tutoring because of the name she used. And then she was going to move. So she wanted to like expand her brand. And the problem is she didn't file for a national trademark with us. So when she went to go to another location and she filed with us, she realized somebody else owned it. So it's just really important to make sure that, as you start to think about using a trademark and having the trademark really protect your brand and what you're doing, and having people affiliate it, with National Inventor Club, that means something to people, right? If you don't have the national trademark on it, people could put stuff up on the internet saying National Inventor Club, like pay X amount of money, like come to this program. And if you don't have the trademark, you can't stop that. You can't protect what it is you're trying to do. It also is just a recognition of quality. When you have a brand and you're building something, the brand means something. I mean, think about all the brands in society, and your favorite brand of cookie, your favorite brand of soda. It means something in terms of the quality, what you can expect, and all the effort you put into that is incredible. And Brian, to go to your question about patents and like what does it really give you? Again, when you have a trademark, you can go online and you can tell the online service providers, whoever is selling online, and you can say, somebody's selling under my brand, take them down. You can also actually go to our borders. When products come into the United States, we've got Custom and Border Patrol. You can go to them and say, if anything's coming under this name that's not mine, stop it at the border. I mean, it's such a powerful tool.
You have so many services and opportunities for people out there, whether it's companies or individuals, independent inventors. So maybe you can share with us some of the things that your office and yourself personally are taking on at the US Patent and Trademark Office for independent inventors.
Yeah, that's great. So I will say on the pro bono side, there's two types of pro bono. We do collaborate with law schools. So there's a law school certification program. So that's one way you can try and get pro bono help. In terms of the other part of our pro bono when it comes to patents, they're not our centers, but they're our partners. So we give them money and they match the money. And then we work with them on what their programs look like. We're working to expand their offerings. Some of the work that we've done recently with the programs you participated in, Brian, are not just helping them get a patent, but how can we help them on their journey? So if anybody has encountered issues or has suggestions, email me. I'll probably send it to somebody who's directly involved in whatever it is you're emailing me about. If I can answer it directly, I will. But we want to hear if you have pain points, because we are trying to solve for those. I've done a lot of listening sessions with individual inventors. We hear a lot from individual inventors. So if you have additional ideas or you feel pain points, we need to know that directly, because that's exactly what we're solving for. So with the pro bono, we are looking for how we can expand those offerings, how in addition to helping people get patents, we can think about, do they need an NDA? Should we give them a sample NDA on the website? So a non-disclosure agreement, so they can start talking to companies about their ideas. So we're brainstorming all kinds of ideas around that. I will say any issue that anybody has, like it's, please voice it to us directly, because we've got a lot of things in the works and we're working to solve to make this easy and to make sure we're supporting you at every level.
So if they did want to reach you, or there are the regional offices that they could get in touch with, but where's the best place to either praise or possibly talk about some challenges that they may have?
So first of all, Brian, thank you for saying that about praise, because I have to say, I love it when people email me. So my email, comes directly into my inbox, is director@uspto.gov. And some people do have suggestions. Some people will say, I have a question about my application. I mean, it can be very, very specific. It can be a suggestion on how we can improve. But thank you for mentioning the praise, because I love all of it, because we can't get better without your feedback. But I also love when people send praise, especially when they name people, because I will write to the person you name, I will write to their supervisor, and I will say, thank you for the amazing work you did for this inventor, because that's what they're here for. They're public servants, and there's nothing more than a public servant wants to hear, is that they're serving the public. So thank you for mentioning that as well.
Thank you. Just to get the email address correct, director@uspto.gov, uspto.gov. So, Kathi, you have the website, which is a great start. We can find our innovation outreach centers there. There's a page that has where you click on your state. When you go on uspto.gov, there is an area there for learning, and I think it's learning and resources area.
If you go to our website right now, I just pulled it up on my other screen. Right there on the very first page, uspto.gov, says new to intellectual property. It has a link, USPTO
Perfect.
in your region. It's the last link on that list. It also talks about access our free services, training and education, inventor and entrepreneur resources, identify what kind of IP you have with our new
I love
IP
it.
identifier. We heard you. You've told us
Thank
this
you.
before. We delivered for you, Brian. It's
Um,
now super prominent on our front page. Just go to uspto.gov. It's right. It's half the big page you see when you
I
log
love
in.
it. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can personally take credit for it, but I'm happy it's up there. That's great. So look, there are virtual webinars that are constantly going on. There are webinars that are in person in your areas. There's the Inventor Resource Center,
Yeah.
which you can call up and they answer the phone and they guide you through what you need. They'll send you what you need. There's also now the virtual chat. There's access to you. There's the PTRC, which we have Will Salas, He's on Long Island here. These are places that you can go. You have an idea, you go into their office, they will help you to figure out and to pull prior art for you to look at the claims. They're not going to answer, what do you think about my idea? That's not what they're there for. They're going to help you to navigate through the USPTO archives and see if your idea is something that's out there, or to compare it and maybe to take it and get legal advice if you'd like. But these are the things that are out there for us. The virtual webinars are great. There's boot camps. Look, we may not necessarily file the patents ourselves. You can. Have you seen a patent lately? It's not the easiest. So I do like to have somebody do mine personally. And I know a lot of other people do. But look, we want to be able to educate ourselves the best that we can. We want to know before somebody does something for us what they're doing. So you've given us the tools and resources on the website. It's evolved. I've been doing this for 20 years. The website has evolved to something that is really a great resource. I wish everybody can find uspto.gov first. So hopefully that's the next step in getting that up there. I have an idea, USPTO. Gather the information to get the steps.
Also know that I now have a monthly inventor newsletter that I send, letting you know everything that's going on. So again, you can just email me at director@uspto.gov. I'll put you on that list. I will let you know about everything that's going on, different things we've rolled out for you, upcoming training, and that way you don't have to keep checking in.
Thank you so much. Kathi, before you go, if you can give us some words of wisdom from you about being an inventor and going through it, and the pain and the excitement and the experiences, if you can share that with us, that would be great.
So the only thing I would say is failing is part of the process. It's part of learning. If you look at all the great entrepreneurs, all the great companies, it wasn't their first idea. They had other ideas, it didn't work, they tried other things. So I would just say, just keep persisting. You'll get there. And the fact that you're coming up with these ideas, the fact that you're showing up today, as I think somebody mentioned at this time of night, you've got what it takes. So just hang in there.
Thank you so much. Director Vidal, thank you so much. I know that you're very active on LinkedIn. Everybody can follow you on LinkedIn, and you're responsive, receptive on there. You can direct them to director@uspto.gov if it's something that's with your colleagues to help with. But thank you again. We appreciate all that you do for the inventor community out there. And next time we're in the USPTO headquarters, we'd love to see you again.
Let's make it happen.
Excellent. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Brian.
much.
Thanks for all you
Thank
do.
you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So lucky us. The director of the US Patent and Trademark Office on. That was great. Amazing information. It's all on uspto.gov. And everybody else, until next time, we'll either see you in the app. You can go to inventorsmart.app to be able to get to the app page, or you can find it in Google or Apple App Store, and you can find Inventor Smart Community on there, and we can connect there. So thank you, everybody. Keep moving your inventions forward. And until next time, keep in touch. Thank you, and have a good night.